I wanted to ask a question specifically about that. I think you're tweeting about this recently, and I know it's just a big part of ultra running in general. What's your self-talk during an extremely long race without a cheering crowd or anything like that?
Yeah. So there's a couple different things. The basics are, and this made me laugh because I thought I was just a crazy person, and then I found out a bunch of stories of other people who did this. But I do a lot of math in my head, which sounds stupid. So I will be running like a 60-mile race, and I'll be like, okay, I'm 10 miles in. Only one more marathon to go until I only have less than a marathon to go. And then I'll get to a half marathon. And then it's I'm constantly revising that in my head. I thought that was crazy. Someone actually sent me some study of some person that lived in isolation for a really long time, and it was going to be super debilitating. But the way that they got through it was literally just doing math games in their head and constantly training themselves over and over, coming up with puzzles and solving puzzles in their head. And that's how they got through this long, tedious thing. And it's become this thing that I think, I don't know if it's a mindset training or what, but it's just something that I kind of did automatically. I didn't really think of it. I thought it was kind of weird. But I know other runners will do that, and I know people in other areas will also do that, so that's interesting. I'm not a huge mantra guy, but I will have phrases that I say to myself at the beginning, where it's just my buddy Kyle Maynard, he has he climbs mountains. He was in a Nike commercial. He has no arms and no legs, and he climbs mountains. He's a badass. But he always had a mantra when we hung out. He'd always say, "Not dead, can't quit." And so that's a really good running one, because you're not dead, can't quit, not dead, can't quit. It's really good from a rhythmic standpoint. So I would have that in my head. And the other one that I use that is not really it's not self-talk, but a lot of people give themselves an out before the race starts. And for me, I just if I get to the start line, I don't really win most of these races. So it's not like I'm planning to win these things. But a lot of them were physically challenging, or the terrain was difficult, or the climates were crazy. And so mine was if I get to the start line, that's the only way I'm finishing this, or the only way I'm leaving this race is through the finish line. I'm not I don't care if it gets cold. I don't care if it's really difficult. Even if I get injured to some extent, I know myself pretty well, and I know what levels of injury I can take. And it's okay, I've damaged the foot pretty badly, but it's okay, I'm going to finish this race. I did this wasn't smart, but I did, a race in Patagonia, Chile, and did 26 miles and busted my ankle, and then did another 14 on it. It's not, other people shouldn't do that, and I had to pay a price for it, but it's one of those ones where it's just kind of I made a pact with myself at the beginning, and I was I'm doing this. And I think you build up trust with yourself over time of doing difficult things and knowing that you're capable of doing difficult things. And that makes it a lot easier to keep going when you want to quit. So I think that's a huge component that kind of happens before the race that most people don't talk about at all.
Mm-hmm.